So the first delivery of August has arrived, and it's from PCBWay, and I know what these are. These will be Geiger counter PCBs. The person who produced the Geiger counter I want to build was nice enough to have shared the designs on PCBWay's website, and I sent off and had them manufactured. But you'll see that in a different video. This is donations for August. Okay, another delivery for August, and I'm a little excited about this one. Looking at the back of this, I think it might have come from the Ukraine. If I'm really lucky, it will be. If I'm really lucky, it'll be what I think it is, and it works. Let's get rid of that. Alright. Well, it's in an old looking box. Oh, yep. An SPM 20. That is a Geiger counter tube, and I've bought one until I can see what the quality of these is like, and I might buy a few more. Oh, and it's very well packed. Oh yes, here it is. And these are very, very fragile, so I need to be careful. Right, there we are, my SPM 20 Geiger tube. Couple of little dents on the outer shield. Hopefully this one works okay. The seller reassures me he sold many of them and has not had any complaints. However, they're not tested. So, alright, that can go back in here to prevent damage. Alright, I'm very happy. Geiger tube. I can finish the next part of the project, which is the Geiger counter board. Alright, on to the next delivery. Well, a couple of new purchases come in. 20-pin chip socket for the Geiger counter board. Not strictly the one I wanted, but it will do. Meanwhile, while he does order in the ones that I want, I've got a couple of these as well that might do the job. These are just simply so that I can slot the Arduino chip in and out as I program it, and sort of risk a bit of heat damage by soldering it in as well. So that's the next delivery. More on the way, I'm sure. There's still a lot of August to go. Well, it's back to my messy desk. Well, it was a few minutes ago. We've had some more donations come in. Of one of the donations, the smallest one, was an SD card. It showed up out of the late and great Ken Anderson stuff, and it actually had a photo on it, but not much else. And I got this, which didn't mean much until I got given these, which I'm hoping they belong to each other. So I've got a good Logitech keyboard and mouse now. What else did we have? Appears to be an iPad charger or an iPod USB power adapter. Handy all the same. I'll make sure it does spit out 5 volts before I plug anything into it. Might be a fast charge. I needed a stapler, but I got given one of these, which is an automatic paper joiner. Let's grab a receipt over here if this is not something fancy. It is, that's alright. So we put 2 sheets in, and if we push it down, it folds them all together like that. Staple free existence. Awesome. Now on to the bigger stuff. Right. We have a UPS. It's a Digitech one. Not too much of a real description to give. It does have a USB out. I'm not sure to what end. This is clearly a JCar brand one. Has a fuse and 2 outputs. Not too bad. Alright. But wait, there's another one. This is a PowerTech Plus. I think this is also a JCar branded one. It also has 2 outputs. An RS-232 output. I think that's for monitoring its charge, and phone and all the rest. So that one's not too bad. It's a 650 VA, same as the other one. And then there's this one that weighs a ton, and it has USB. And this one I recall installing, so it's not really a return, but it's a reacquaintance. This is a Digitech one, and judging by the weight of it, there's a much bigger battery in it. So this one might get pressed into service. We shall see. But I do know this one has a functioning USB system, and I know what the software is for this, and it gives you a lot of details about how much power you're using. It's very handy. And given with another donation I had the other week, it's this little guy here, I can combine the two, and I think it'll work out very nicely. So yeah, I know how much I'm using on my whole desk setup, and this will cover it very nicely. So yeah, that will get put back into service after I check the state of the batteries. But it was in use pretty much daily up until it was removed from service about a week ago. So yeah, that will probably be quite fine. And there's some more stuff floating around. Let me have a look. So also among the donations are a whole bunch of things I remember seeing. I think I installed these too, except I've only got one unit. These are Ethernet over power adapters, or an adapter. I don't know where the other one's gone. It's probably got thrown out. So it might be handy. We might do a tear down on it if I can't find the other one. There's a pile of adapters. There's yet another Telstra NBN modem. But, you know, could be handy. I know a few people that are using these. It's kind of nice to have a couple of spares in stock. And all the short cables are also very handy. So that'll all get rolled up. And yeah, I know these came from, he labelled everything. Good idea to do that. And there's a random assortment of cables. That looks like a USB A to B type, I think. That will be from the UPS. And there's a 4-way hub, so there's some bits and pieces and cables and stuff. I'll roll all these up later. This is how I replenish my big box of IEC cables. It's when everybody makes donations and they all come with 3 times more IEC leads than they actually need. But it's good. They're still rolling in. And I usually hand those off to the needy people that have got computers without power cables and all that junk. So it's still only the 8th of August. I believe my birthday's coming up soon too. And every time I'm filming, my neighbour likes to drive past with his V8. So yeah, that's another thing too. Anyway, let's see what else this month has to offer donation-wise. Okay, so the donations continue. This time with some fridge door seals. Why that's important? They have magnets in them. So we'll see that in another video. Anyway, on to the next donations. Well, the August donations continue, and this is not a donation, this is a repair job. I got some of my favourite Monte Carlos delivered. I've also had a collection of adapters. These are for banana plugs. These are for a specific project. You'll see at a later date. I've got some more project boxes have arrived. I'm told there's a laptop coming for me as well at some point. So we'll get to that in a moment. Also, when I turn on my underdesk lights, I got a 2-drawer cabinet arrived. And that was, up until yesterday, a 2-drawer filing cabinet, which was also donated this month and has now been relegated to the front lawn because one of the drawers is bent and irreparably damaged. So hard waste is coming up. We might see some more donations coming in hard waste fairly soon. We'll see what happens. It's going to happen probably after August though. Anyway, yeah, move on to the next donations. Well, August must be the month of giant donations. This is the late great Ken Anderson's document briefcase, which he used whilst working for ESSO. This has come by my way. I'm going to have a rummage through this, but this is more of a personal donation from his deceased estate. So, yeah, interesting and very emotional stuff, but this might almost turn into a tribute project as well. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with it. Gonna have a think, but I think this has come my way because none of the family know what to do with this either. So we'll come up with something, and yeah, we'll figure out what to do with it. Anyway, on with the donations. Continuing with the donations for August is another one of the late and great Ken Anderson's possessions. It's a folder with a solar calculator built into it. I'm not sure how old this is, and some note paper. There are some other things under here, some notes and stuff, but I won't be putting them on camera. I'll go through them off camera. I'm not sure of the personal nature of those. But yes, still, interesting gadget. This is right up his alley. Alright, so we have some more donations, and these ones are relevant to my project that's coming up. I have 5 20-pin IC or chip holders, chip sockets. Got some battery packs. Got a 2 AA job and a 3 AA job. All quite courtesy of JCar, who was quite nice enough to give me a little bit of credit. Of course, I went back in the next day and paid it as always. But yeah, so there'll be more donations, I'm sure. The August donations and deliveries continue. This time, for the grand total of $8, I found some LED globes. And I thought these might be interesting to reverse engineer. I know Tinkerman Mick has a couple of blown ones of these, so I might actually just test the wattage and how much these actually pull. And then we might find a blown one from Tinkerman Mick to disassemble, and we might do a bit of a collaborative video on that. Anyway, let's move on to other donations. Oh yes, we've already covered those. That's my apprentice helping out with them in the background. So let's move on to more donations. August donations continue. I've got this massive device, a nut tag. Now, I don't know much about these, although I'm told they have their own embedded SIM and they work through the mobile phone network and not just Bluetooth. Whereas some of the bigger tags I've read up use Bluetooth. So, not entirely sure how they actually work. They're a GPS tracker. So we'll have a play around with them and see actually what function they really do use to track things. I think they're just a little Bluetooth beacon, but apparently they will track anywhere through the mobile phone network. So that'll be interesting. I've got some more chip sockets. This time I've got 20-pin and 8-pin, what I need to finish project I'm working on. And some prototype board. All of these things were courtesy of Tinkerman Mick. So that's very handy. There is another donation kicking around here somewhere, but I've forgotten what it was or where it came from. But I guess we'll add that when I find it. Okay, so the deliveries continue. What have we got here? We've got some stuff. My apprentice is coming to check in. This is good. This is my second Neo M6 GPS. The antenna on the other one didn't work. So that's handy. I'm looking forward to that for this project. And hello, apprentice. She's coming to watch the deliveries. Come in, apprentice. Come and watch the deliveries. Okay, this is more components for my GPS meter. These are the 10 ohm 10 turn pots. This will be good. And another delivery from the Ukraine. And this is another Geiger counter, another SBM 20, or Geiger tube rather.
Yummy candy.
Yes. Now I left a glowing review for the other bloke because these are untested tubes. I tested and found that it worked, and I left a review on his eBay page stating that in great detail, and he's sent me a candy. So that's Russian candy. That'll be interesting.
Yummy Russian candy. It's tasty.
It does look like that. You want the Russian candy. Oh, okay, apprentice. Then we'll put you on camera with that one. Apprentice, this is Ukrainian candy. We'll see if we can open. We'll keep the wrapper because it's cool. If I can actually get into this. Here we go. Open all this up. We can't get this open. Maybe you're an expert at this. Here we go. Oh, that's interesting candy. Okay, you can try that. Oh, and it's got a little this is like the old school candy, and it's got a little tattoo or something, a wax tattoo in here. There you go. That's interesting. Where are we? Over here. The little note that comes with the candy. All right, I'll keep that for interest's sake. That's an interesting curiosity, and we'll work out what that says on Google Translate. And also buried in here is a piece of Russian newspaper, which I did briefly translate. And this is there's some office going on in the background. This looks like, from what I translated, there's a 3-bedroom house for rent, and a few other things in here. I'm sure you guys can translate that. You'll find somebody who is a native Russian speaker, unlike me, who cheats and uses Google Translate. All right, we'll probably have some more. I hear rumours there's a laptop on my way here as well, so we'll see what happens next.